Welcome to the Vanilla Podcast. We're going to be talking about university today. Is it the go? Should we be doing it? If we could go back, would we go to university? There's student debt. There's other things to pursue in life. Going straight into a trade. Is it all worth it? That's what we're going to be chatting about today. Levi, any initial thoughts on?
Yeah, interesting thought. I'm excited about the podcast ahead and the few topics and questions we're going to come up with. But to start us off, why don't we just give the audience a bit of a idea about what we did, each of us individually, if we went to university or did we not go to university, so they get a good understanding of what that all looks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start us off. Okay, so I did go to uni. I'm currently at uni in my fourth year, and I'm studying a Bachelor of Property and a Bachelor of Commerce as well. And on the commerce side, I major in innovation, it's actually called Innovation and Entrepreneurship and Accounting. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful.
Bit of a businessman there, Tremaine?
Yeah, well, yeah. The funny thing is, he's just going to say, we do pretty similar stuff.
Yeah. I just decided to copy Tremaine because I think so highly of him. So I did Bachelor of Property, Bachelor of Business, Innovation, Entrepreneurship, but then I also do marketing as well. It's just, so basically the same degrees, but he does accounting and I do marketing, which is quite fun.
No wonder you boys started a window cleaning business, eh? It just comes from you, eh?
The best of both worlds. We got it all in our business. But Levi, what did you do?
Myself, I'm the odd one out of the group, and I didn't do university. Instead, I went to a Bible college and pursued that for 2 years. And now I've already currently got a full-time job at the church. So that was a bit of a different and maybe not common way to do it out of school, but that was my choice. Decided not to go to university, and here I am now. So let's unpack this a little bit more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The reason I kind of thought about it a little bit the other day was I think I was sitting at home and I was editing a video, which I really enjoy doing, but I knew I should be studying. And I was just like, I see studying so much right now. I just can't be bothered doing it. And I feel like everyone kind of has these like questions like, am I supposed to be doing uni right now? Was this the right thing to do? And I was just wondering if I should have done something else straight out of high school.
Yeah. And you even look at people and you look at our parents, for example, and some of them were like, I never went to university, and I went to university, or I did this other course, or I went traveling overseas and took a gap year, or I did these different things. And they're like, it didn't change much of what I do now or in the future. Is going to university the most important thing, or is it worth doing?
Right. Well, that's interesting because my dad, his dad was like that. He didn't go to university, and I think he worked for his dad in car sales. And then my dad decided to do the same thing as his dad and get into car sales. But then he said to me, he got so high, and then they said, hey, look, we can't promote you anymore because you don't have a university degree. And he kind of passed it on to me, saying like, he got so high and then in corporate, and then they were like, look, like you just don't stack up compared to the others. So you couldn't go further. And he's like way better at business than me. Like he's pretty switched on, and it's kind of like he just didn't want me to be disadvantaged when I go into the workforce. So he like encouraged it.
So your dad didn't get a degree, and then
he actually went back to university when I was like 2, and he did get a degree while working, or some diploma or something, postgrad something, but it like helped him.
Did that allow him to get the promotion after?
I think so, but then he went into business himself, so. Yeah, maybe he didn't need it.
No, that's interesting.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was analyzing the other day, and I was thinking, I think I would have learned a whole lot more if I went straight into work straight out of high school. I'm not saying I wouldn't have gone to uni, but I was just thinking, let's just say I started a window cleaning business straight out of high school. And I was doing some part-time job as well, and I was learning at the same time, but I was doing window cleaning 3 times a week. And I was like, I feel like I probably would have learned a whole lot more.
Okay, I'm going to just check another story out, okay, that relates to this. You can think sometimes, I'm going to start a business, I don't need to go to university. I was sitting next to a guy in my innovation class, and I got chatting to him, okay, And he told me, I was like, oh, what do you do for work? You know, what you say at uni. And he was saying, oh, I own my own digger company.
Wow.
I was like, damn, bro, like you own your own digger company? Like, I was like, I'm in the window game.
I got one too.
And then he was like, oh, mean. And then he was like, yeah, I got 3 employees. Turns out he was like making like 300K a year. And, you know, he was about a couple of years older than me. And then he realized that his skills were capped to a degree in the digger industry. And he got mentorship to go to university. So he was in uni after being very successful. And still, he said, I've got 2 50-year-olds working for me at the moment out digging up north. And I was like, whoa. Like,
Yeah.
he like, and it made me look like I'm at university and I'm thinking, oh man, like,
Waste of time.
But this guy's thinking, no, I'm coming to university to upskill to even go better. So like, it's a bit of perspective there too.
So he didn't go to university, but then thought it'd be a good opportunity to upskill, so he went to university.
Yeah, he thought he needed to, which is quite interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Should we talk about some positives maybe about university, and then draw on maybe some cons about university, and then kind of wrap up with a bit of our own thoughts about what have we changed of what we thought about previously?
That seems like an incredible idea.
Yeah. Should we start with the first one? I mean, I never personally went to university, but one thing I've often thought I maybe have missed out on about going to university is the social side. Is that a true thing? The social side of university? What's that about? You know, your friends, lots of people go, miss out on events. Is that true?
Cap.
Well, I think from me and Ezra's perspective, we live at home. We don't flat. We never went to halls. So, yeah, I don't think we experienced that, to be honest.
Not real. Like, I can only speak for Auckland University, same as you, Tremaine.
Yeah.
But most lectures, I'll go in, I'll sit by myself. It's strange if you talk to someone in a lecture. It's really weird. So I do connect people at uni, but it's only if I know them at church or something like that. Or maybe a group assignment, I might get to know them.
Yeah.
So my time in university, I might have got to know like 3 people decently well.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
I'm going to say the same. Limited connection in uni, sadly. It probably shouldn't be like that, but it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So social side isn't great at university?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I feel like
is it our fault? Maybe.
I feel like we're painting uni in a bad picture here.
Yeah, well, I don't think the social side is any better than like a work environment. It's the same vibe, like maybe worse than a work environment, to be fair. So the social aspect is not a positive. I'll just say that.
Okay.
But I reckon there is quite a few positives. I reckon one key positive is actually you're forced to be more disciplined. You know, I reckon in jobs, like you can just do things because your boss is telling you to do things, but in university, you're doing things out of your own motivation. And I reckon that's quite a good skill. You're good, Ezra?
I'm great.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, we'll carry on then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kobe just wanted to go outside. His dog. But yeah, I reckon it's just like university, it does shift your mind for the better. My dad always said to me that the reason he wants to hire someone from uni is what it does to their mind. He says he doesn't care what degree they do. They could do an arts degree, but he's in finance. They could still work at his company. It's just how university affects someone's mind and makes them more disciplined and makes them a better critical thinker. So I reckon critical thinking, things like that, is really beneficial at uni.
And I've always been a big believer that one of the reasons I would send my kids to a good school, I went to school, was not actually because of what I learned. Like, yeah, so what, I can do my times tables, and yeah, so what, I can write an essay. But it's that doing homework, it's that discipline, it's that keep on going, improvement kind of things you learn, social skills you learn from being at school. And I imagine it's the same with university, that when you step into a job and in the workforce, you've got those disciplines with you as well. So
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think one cool way that I've started looking at uni recently is if you're fortunate enough to be in a position where you're not, I don't know, shelling out heaps for like student loans and stuff like that. I still live at home. It's great. But I see uni now as, it's not like a full-time thing. It really isn't. It's more of a part-time thing. So I can do it part-time, and then on the other half, I can be pursuing other things that I'm trying to do, which is hard to do if you get a full-time job straight out of high school. So in the other half of my life, I can be doing a window cleaning business. I could be making videos. It just gives me a lot more freedom to be doing other things because it's not a whole lot of work compared to a full-time job.
Yeah.
And how do you do that, Ezra? Because I talk to a lot of uni students who just say, man, it is so hectic at the moment. I have assignments, tests coming up. I just can't think. I just have no extra time to do anything else. Is that true?
Look, it probably... Just say it, Jermaine.
Oh, I'm not going to say anything bad, but
It depends what grade you're going for.
yeah, it depends. Like,
If you're going for an A+, yeah, maybe you're spending, 40 hours a week studying and taking... Me and Tremaine know people who will take notes before the class and then go into class and go through their notes and write fresh notes in class and then revise them after class.
they'll do all the readings. They'll do
All the
everything,
reading, take notes on the readings. I'm not that type of person.
How many hours do you spend a week on uni, Ezra?
Oh, that is a
Studying.
question. That is a question. If I had to be really realistic with you, I would say 15 hours a week.
15? Wow.
That's the realist answer. Could
I
be
like it.
less. I
Tremaine?
don't know.
Tremaine?
I'm probably like 25 hours a week.
Okay.
Who do you think you are?
25.
Do you actually think that?
Yeah.
Who
I
has
reckon
better
it's
grades?
25.
Dang.
I've got better grades than Ezra.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, yeah, but it's because I do 10 more. 10 more
more
hours. Yeah.
Rightly or wrongly, my mindset is I'm gonna as long as they're solid. I'm not trying to aim for C's or anything. I'm not saying I haven't got a C, but I'm trying to get some B's, some A's. But
Oh, Coral's like looking at Ezra right now.
Mother B is in here. I'm still trying to get solid grades, but I also want to just be ensure that I'm putting good effort into other things in my life as well.
I used to speak to my mate Oscar, and we used to always say it's kind of like is it called like a bell curve, or like when it goes up like this? Like the difference between getting like a B and an A+ is huge. Like it gets way harder, and you spend way more time to get an A+. And we said to each other we'd rather spend that time on other stuff, and kind of aim for I think I'd average probably like an A- to be honest.
Yeah.
Or even I get it if you just want to be a B student, but like you have like heaps of friends and like a mean social life. Like I reckon it's up to you.
It's not crazy hard to get maybe a B or a C. Like
Well, it's not that hard.
B and a C is different. B and a C is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you share your GPA, Ezra?
I don't know what my GPA is. I don't look at my GPA.
Okay.
That's...
Ezra doesn't even check his exam results sometimes.
Well, I do. I do now.
Yeah.
Mama's giving me all types of looks. I check my grades. It's just that Tremaine will be checking them like every hour of the day to see when he gets a grade.
All I heard from Ezra was that uni is a side thing.
That is crazy. I didn't say that, Mum. I didn't. I just said it quietly so that you wouldn't hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just not treating uni as a 40-hour full-time job. That's not what I'm treating it as.
Yeah.
I also have a window cleaning business. I'm doing some part-time work. I'm making videos. I have a social life.
I like it.
It's a mix of everything.
Yeah.
I'd rather take a more well-rounded individual rather than someone who got straight A's in uni. Mm-hmm. Would you? Would you guys?
That's fair. I would as well. I reckon uni, a big part of going to university is learning the disciplines, learning the reasons to study, learning how to study. I know my sister used to say it taught her how to study and how to research and how to do that kind of stuff, which is very valuable once you step into the workforce, because the workforce doesn't teach you that. So it teaches you how to learn, basically, which I think can be very valuable.
Levi, if you had to run it all back, would you do uni? Would you spend 3 years and get a business degree or?
Yeah, so this is the question we're talking about. Personally, myself, didn't go to university, and right now would still not go to university.
Oh,
yeah.
Shade. Okay, just hating on us.
No, that's all good. That's all good, bro. You do you, man. You do you. You do you with your C's.
Whoa! Oh my gosh! I just stole the notes.
Nah, jokes. Nah. I think for me, one of the reasons was, for me, I wasn't a huge fan of studying at school. I didn't love studying at school. I have dyslexia, and so for studying at school wasn't my favorite thing to do. And for what I did after school, I did a Bible college course, and it is both 50% practical and 50% theory. And so for me, having that 50% practical side, it was awesome because a day would involve going out, chatting to people, running events, ensuring, calling up people, texting people, and it had a lot of that social side into it. I would serve the church on a Sunday, and I would be volunteering, speaking, emceeing, that kind of stuff. And I enjoyed that practical side, and that kind of balanced out the theory side. And I was like, I cannot sit for another 4 years, 3 years in a lecture room and just study and just have no practical side to it.
You know the crazy thing when reflect on you saying all that kind of stuff, Levi? I remember Levi at school, we went to the same school, and you would never not do your homework though. Like you were actually really disciplined. It's not like you were some dropout. I remember Levi saying, oh, like I got to do my homework and things like that. Where I was pretty slack back then. So like that's kind of interesting, Levi, because you didn't like school, but you still did it. Like, I think
I did it because I knew it was the right thing to do. So I would do it, but it wasn't the joy didn't come from sitting down and studying, doing the theory. But it was the right thing to do. I was there for a reason, and it was beneficial. So it had benefit to it, but it's not something I would choose to. And school had the practical side of it well with the social, the sport. So it kind of helped to balance it out. Where I felt if I went to university, there's no balance. It's only study. And so I didn't want to go to university because there was no balance.
Levi, let me ask you a question. You said that you enjoyed Life Leadership College more than university because it's 50% practical, right? Do you think and I'm not saying any in particular individual, but do you think that like everyone would learn better doing a degree that's like 50% practical, 50% theoretical? Yeah.
Interesting question. I don't think everyone, this is not saying everyone should do Life Leadership College, but I do like that thought though. I do like that thought of doing a course that is both practical and study. And I've got down here, for example, if you didn't do university, what can you do instead? And I'm not sure, depending on what you want to do in the future, but a specialized course that both helps you practically and the theory side as well. If you could find a course that kind of does a dual mode.
We look at like tradies, that's kind of what they do. Being a tradie is.
It's not bad, eh?
Like they have a bit of both, eh?
With that though, like you said, you knew a guy who's doing a digger business alongside his university degree. That seems like the perfect combination because he's doing like the practical side of his business, but then he's also doing his university degrees, the theoretical. So it's kind of going hand in hand. So ideally, imagine if you're doing something at the same time you're doing university and they're just feeding each other.
Bro, that sounds like you, man.
That's what I'm doing. I'm better than everyone else, man.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically it is us, but...
Yeah, like I reckon recently when I started out university, I was probably a bit more similar to Ezra. I was like, this is a waste of time. Like I was just like trying to think of ways to get out. But I feel like my mindset kind of shifted in a way where I just think university is, just you are getting educated. Like it sounds a bit cheesy, but you're becoming educated and you're learning to think, and it's actually really valuable. And you can get in this mindset of like, oh, I don't want to do this, or you could be like, oh, I'm gonna learn. I don't know about this. Like I picked this degree for a reason. Like I want to learn more about property now. This is interesting. It's challenging. Like it's still got some boring aspects to it, but like I'm learning more. Like majority of the public, they just get a job to do. It could just be cleaning windows repetitively, but I'm getting to learn and expand my mind. Like it is a bit of perspective as well.
Totally.
I like that. And one of the things I was thinking about is going to university is you do learn, I mean, I've never been, but you do learn from educated people as well. You got lecturers who are masterminds at the topic they're studying, and I'm sure you could ask them many questions and they can give you great feedback.
Yeah, exactly. And with property, some of the cool things is they get professionals from the field to come in and teach. And they actually say, oh, I was working on this project, this property development, and this is what went wrong. These guys can get to cocky and ahead of themselves, and oversell things, all this kind of stuff. And they just they have like real world experiences that really captivate you. And it's not like just a whole lot of lecturers that are just learning old textbooks. But to say like that's not the case for all the subjects, eh? Like there's some where
not.
it's like you have no real world experience and you feel like you can see with lecturers, eh?
Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah, totally. I've actually had the blessing of this year. I've had a paper where every lecture we've had a guest speaker come in for the second half. So we had someone from like TikTok New Zealand, someone from Fisher and Paykel Healthcare. Yeah, and just sharing really insightful things. But then yes, you also can tell when it's just, sometimes it seems like it's just more theoretical stuff. For example, telling someone in a business being able to tolerate risk is very important, right? So a lecturer could say, you have to learn to tolerate risk, but you have to really understand that and like develop it in your head. It's hard to just say to someone, yeah, like learn to just tolerate risk or just be a good leader. Like, you know, or speak well. It's all true stuff, but it needs to be like really understood, which I think is hard sometimes to really understand, like get a lot out of the lectures.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like when you hear a story about someone that, you know, just borrowed too much money and just came crashing down and had to rebuild their life, and they explain, this is what I had to do. I hit rock bottom. Like, there's something pretty magical, and your eyes start to light up and learn. And I kind of hope, you know, the future of education like goes in that direction where it is practical. We're getting more people in, you know, more people that have been through life to explain things. Yeah.
So yeah, as we kind of maybe finish up a little bit, let's go. Tremaine starting first. If you could wound back time, would you go to university still, or would you not?
I would. Just the only thing I would change some of the papers I did, because I am planning to do chartered accounting, and I have some foundation papers that I need to catch up on. But yeah, so I'd still go to university. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
LDJ,
you kind of already
yeah.
answered. Sorry, I asked you real early.
No. That's great. I mean, I didn't go to university. I wouldn't go to university. I see some real awesome things about university. Some real cool people, education. I mean, not even maybe some perks you get from doing university. But personally, I think even, especially these days, you can do a lot of stuff online. Especially what I've thought to myself, if I ever want to do something, I could just invest in a course for a couple of months, do a course, and upskill myself very quickly with the internet, YouTube, podcast, videos all around. So I wouldn't. Yeah.
Interesting. If I'm being so honest right now, 2021, I'm coming out of high school. What do I do with the rest of my life? I'm not going to. Oh yeah, I don't know. It depends. Like, I probably would. I didn't really know exactly what else I was going to do. So I wasn't really too keen on Life Leadership College. I wasn't really keen to go into a trade. So yeah, I wish I would have had something that I was really passionate about. Like, I'm going to do this, but I didn't. So I think uni ended up being a better choice. But if I had something that I was really keen on, I don't think I would have done uni. I think I would have gone straight onto that.
Pursue your dreams. Go hard.
Yeah. Also, this is not life advice. We're not life advisors or anything. Yeah. So take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Do what you've got. Tremaine, you want to sign us off for our episode?
Yeah. Thank you to listening and watching the Vanilla Podcast.